All right, guys, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the perfect client formula. Now, if there's one video you should listen to in this entire training, it's absolutely this one. This is the most important thing. And listen, before I tell you what the formula is, just know I have trained over 2,000 people to start an ad agency, and I've had a lot of people fail, and I've had a lot of people succeed, and I've had a lot of people monumentally succeed and just exceed expectations. I've got a few people that are at 7 figures or almost at 7 figures, people that hit 6 figures within a few days. This one guy, Justin, he hit 10K within 8 days. So I will tell you that the main reason that people fail is because they don't follow this formula, and the main reason people succeed is because they do follow this formula. So this formula is extremely important, so please pay attention to it. So what we're going to look for in the perfect client formula is a series of traits. So we'll call this the traits, all right? And these are traits that a perfect client will have. First of all, to define a perfect client, let's do a little definition here. So we'll go here and we'll do the definition. Okay, the definition is simple. Definition is the clients are easy to get an ROI for. I call them sometimes easy ROI clients. So the clients are easy to get an ROI for. Let me spell easy right. Easy to get an ROI for. They are willing to pay, because obviously they got to pay, right? They got to be willing to pay, so you don't want to take on clients that are not willing to pay. They have to leave you alone. They're the type of clients that are too busy dealing with all the leads that you're sending them and running their business. They don't bug you. They want to leave you alone. For instance, a chiropractor is a great example because chiropractors are busy cracking backs, not bugging the ads guy. Okay? So, and they as well pay every month because you want them to pay every month, not just 1 or 2 months. And they are low maintenance, meaning you really only have to create one ad and not really do a lot with it, not check it that often because it just works every single freaking day. So that's the definition of a perfect client. So let's look at the traits. So the traits are this. Number one, they are already advertising. And I talked about this earlier. It's easier to move money than it is to spend money. So number one, they're already advertising. Okay, that's the number one trait. And these are in no particular order, but I'm just listing them out. So already advertising. Number two, already making sales. So let's talk about this one. We do not want to take on a client who is about to fail or shut down their business, or who they just started a business, okay, and they haven't made any sales yet. That's the worst thing you could do, because you see, if you have somebody that has a new idea or a new product and they don't know how to sell it yet, you getting them leads is like, it's not going to help because they don't even know how to sell it yet. They're not good at selling it yet. For instance, if you have a realtor that just started, maybe he's horrible at talking to potential buyers or sellers, and no matter how many leads you sell him or you send him, he's not going to close, all right? But if it's a realtor that's already closing deals, then you know that if you send him leads, he's going to close them, he's going to get his money worth, he's going to pay you month after month. So one of the first questions you have to ask them, besides are they already advertising, are they already making sales? Do they have a consistent business? Is it not new? Is it existing? Has it been around for a while? Is it, you know, basically they want more sales, or they want more sales for their advertising dollars, not, hey, I just started this business, help me grow it. You don't want that because that is hard. We want easy. The closer we get to easy, the more we get to a passive lifestyle where we get paid every month and we don't have to work so hard. If it's a new company or a startup or something like that, well, Now we're going to have to work, and we don't want to work. We want to enjoy our life, and we want to get our clients results, okay? So we want to make sure that they're already making sales. Number 3, they are the only solution. So let's talk about that. This is super important. So this is where we can really define our clients. If you have an issue with your back, okay, where do you go? You go to a chiropractor. If you have an issue with your tooth, where do you go? You go to a dentist. If you want to lift weights, where do you go? You go to a gym. If you want to go drinking, you go to a bar. So for the most part, I mean, sure, you could argue, oh, well, you could buy liquor and stay home, or, oh, you could buy your own gym equipment. Sure. But for the most part, these businesses, gym, bar, chiropractor, dentist, these are the only solution to a problem. If you need help buying a house, you go to a realtor. If you need help selling a house, you go to a realtor. Okay? They're really, for the most part, I mean, sure, there are maybe some other solutions out there, but for the most part, they're the only solution. Now, why is this important? It's important because if they're the only solution, we just need to get bodies in the door. We just need to send them leads and let them do what they do every day already, okay? So let's talk about if they're not the only solution. So for instance, let's say you have trouble with your marriage, okay? You have so many options. You could go see marriage, you could go to marriage counseling, you could buy a book, you could hire a marriage coach, you could do nothing. There are a variety of options, and people aren't sold on any one of these options. Does every couple that has marriage problems go to a marriage coach? No, they don't. Does every couple that has marriage problems go to couples therapy? No, they don't. Does every person that has a broken tooth go to the dentist? For the most part, yes. Now, the only other option is that they don't take care of the problem at all. And we don't count that because sometimes people won't. Sometimes people will not address the problem at all, and that doesn't count. If you have a bad marriage and you don't do anything about it, well, you don't do anything about it. If you have a broken tooth or a cavity and you don't do anything about it, well, you don't do anything about it. But if you choose to do something about it, now you have a list of potential solutions. And if it's your tooth, your only solution is the dentist. If it is your back, for the most part, your only solution is a doctor or a chiropractor. However, if you have a bad marriage, you have multiple solutions, and that's what we don't want, okay? As well, we want to make sure that this is something people are used to paying for. People are used to paying for food at a restaurant. People are used to paying for chiropractors. People are used to paying for dentists. People are used to paying for drinks at a bar. People are not used to paying for coaches or online courses. Sure, these are things that sell every day, but not everybody is going to pay for an online course or to pay for a coach. These are things that need convincing, okay? So that is the main difference. We don't want to have to convince our prospect that we're showing an ad to choose this solution. We want to put our offer in front of people that have already chosen a solution, and we're just directing them to our particular business owner. So if someone wants to go out and drink, we're just trying to get them to choose our bar. If someone needs their tooth fixed, we're just trying to get them to choose our dentist. If somebody wants to go out to eat, we're just getting them to choose our restaurant. We're not convincing them that they need to go to a restaurant because everybody goes to restaurants. No need to convince. Everybody goes to a dentist when they have a tooth issue. No need to convince. However, we do need to convince them if we want to hire a coach or something of that nature, or financial advising. We have to convince them. All right? Versus, a solution that is so common, it's pretty much the only solution. One more example, taxes. Now, I have in the past run ads for tax-related products successfully. However, it's not the easiest. For instance, if you want to do your taxes, you could hire a CPA, an accountant, you could get TurboTax, you could go to like Liberty Tax, one of those, local tax places. There's a variety of options. So now we have to convince our prospect which option to choose and then which business owner to go to. We want to skip past that, and we want to just try to convince them to go to the right business owner, which is our business owner, our client. So they must be the only solution. Number 4, we do the sidewalk test. Okay? So a lot of times you will have a client come along that has a unique business. Like they might have some sort of artsy-fartsy craft or something like that. Or maybe they sell a book of, how to balance your chakras or something. Again, these are clients you can totally get results for if you have some marketing skills, some marketing chops. Not that difficult, but if you are a complete beginner, you could run into an issue. So we don't want that. We want to make sure that we start where we know we can get results. So we do the sidewalk test. What you do is you think about what your client sells, and you close your eyes and you pretend that their business is open on a mildly busy sidewalk. Would a lot of people buy their product? So for instance, if you put a dentist on a sidewalk, a good portion of people might walk in, maybe they have a tooth issue. If you put a real estate agent on a sidewalk, I would think a fair amount of people may walk in and ask for some brochures on some local properties, or maybe ask about selling their home. If you put a restaurant on a sidewalk, clearly people are going to walk in and eat. If you put a bar, clearly people are going to walk in and have a drink. But if you put a business on the side of the road that said dating coach, you might get some weird looks, but I don't think too many people are just going to happily walk into that business and go, hey, I've been looking for a dating coach, okay? Do you see what I mean? So think about, if you put your client's business on a busy sidewalk, would people consistently walk in and buy? If the answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, probably not the best client, okay? So these are some traits. Let me just go over them again real quick. They're already advertising so that we don't have to convince them to spend money. We can convince them to move money instead, much easier. They're already making sales, meaning they're not new, they're not struggling. If we send them leads, they can close them, therefore they can make money, therefore we can get paid every month. They're the only solution to a problem, meaning they're a common business that people use each and every day, and all we need to do is get people in the door, and our job is done. And they pass the sidewalk test, meaning they're not some weird business that nobody's heard of or that people aren't used to. And really, 3 and 4 kind of go hand in hand, but this one is so important, I had to make the sidewalk test as well, just to really drive that point home. Now, if you meet all 4 of these traits, what's going to happen is you will usually find that this particular client will be easy to get results for, meaning you can run ads that don't take a lot of marketing skill, and they're very simple. They're very simple offers, and they will get more people to come into that person's business. They are willing to pay because they're already closing sales, and they know the value of getting new leads, so they're willing to pay you because they're already advertising. They'll leave you alone because they're consistently making sales, and if you send them more, they're going to be busy dealing with new clients and new customers, and they're not going to want to bug you for constant phone calls and reports as long as you're bringing them consistent leads. And they will pay every month because, again, if you're sending them fresh leads and they're already making sales, they're going to make more money. They're going to keep paying you because they're going to keep wanting to get new customers. And they're low maintenance because, again, if you're bringing them consistent leads and they're not bugging you and they're a common business, they really don't take a lot of work on the ad end. You really, for the most part, set up an ad, you run it, it's done. So if they meet these 4 traits, you should have a easy client on your hands that will require very little maintenance, very little marketing skills. You just set up a simple offer, run it for them, and they get new clients, and they'll pay you without a lot of muss and fuss. So that right there is the perfect client formula. I suggest that you use it. It is extremely important to your success, and I'll see you in the next video.